What's going on, my trainer club? We are going to check out the top Ho-Oh counters for Pokemon Go because the solar beam is pretty lethal to these rock guys, and I want to make sure that you guys get this down. So the top counters for Ho-Oh coming out right now, and of course I told you guys I was going to do a kickflip on video, so welcome to the trainer club. Here we go. Alright guys, so we are looking at the top counters for Ho-Oh with and without Solar Beam because it is a completely different game when you are playing with Solar Beam or without Solar Beam. So the top counters, as I mentioned before, are going to be rock guys. What we can use is we can use additional guys as well, but the top guys for Brave Bird and for the Fire Blast is going to be all rock. So Tyranitar with Smackdown and Stone Edge, and then we're gonna go with Golem with Rock Throw. And then you can either use Rock Blast or you can use Stone Edge on that one, depending on which one you prefer. And then also for those guys, you can also use the Kyogre with Waterfall and Hydro Pump, as well as a Rock Throw Omastar, which is a legacy move, which means that it is no longer available to be able to get. You have to trade for that one right now. And then it also says you can use Soul Rock with Rock Throw. It says that you can also use the Lunatone. However, I would go, if you're gonna use those guys, the Raikou with Thunder Shock, Volt Switch, and then you can also use Regirock if you feel like powering one of those guys up, even though he's a little bit more defensive, so not the best. But then you can also use Rayquaza with Dragon Tail. So that's a good option as well. And then let's look at the top options we're gonna use for Ho-Oh with Solar Beam. And how you're gonna tell is they will not put any of the guys in there that have water. Typically, when you have Solar Beam, you're not gonna have any guys in there with water and stuff like that, but the Solar Beam absolutely demolishes these guys, especially if it's sunny outside and it's boosted as it is here today. Here are the top counters according to Pokemon Go Hub, is it says you can use Tyranitar, Kyogre, and Golem as number 5, but I would suggest not doing those guys because one Solar Beam is going to take them completely out. What I would suggest doing is going in with Dragonites with double dragon moves, and then I would also suggest going in there with Raikous and Zapdoses. These guys aren't going to be quite as effective, but they'll be able to last longer and still do a good amount of damage. So that is my strategy here. For these guys, I go in there with Dragonites with dragon moves, and then I also go in there with my Raikous and my Zapdoses, and it's going to be a completely different game for you because you're going to be able to get off specials and still do a decent amount of damage. So those are my party suggestions for the Solar Beam. So go in with Zapdoses, you can do Jolteons if you don't have any of these guys, and then you can also do the Raikous and then the Dragonites, and then also the Rayquaza if you have one powered up. I just don't have one powered up yet. I'm waiting for them to come back around to see if I can get 100%, but for now, that is what I'm gonna go with. And then for the other ones, which is Brave Bird and then the Fire Blast, you'll probably see the Golems and the Tyranitars in there. And you'll also see the water Pokemon in there. You're gonna go in there with the Kyogre, the Tyranitar, and the Golems, and that's gonna be your party setup for those two guys. So you can have 2 separate parties for each one, depending on which one you are going with. If people already know, you can go in, but if you don't, just look for the key indicators, which means if there are water guys, it's gonna have the first 2 moves, which is the Fire Blast and Brave Bird. If it's not gonna have water guys, it's going to have the Solar Beam. So that's when you're gonna wanna put on your electric and dragon guys. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Let me know how you're doing. Have you got a shiny this time around? I wanna know. I appreciate you guys being a part of the Trainer Club, and I will see you out there catching more shine.